Today we get to talk about it's rapidly becoming one of the most interesting things that Jim and I get to work on, and that is the decommissioning of Diablo Canyon Power Plant. As you have undoubtedly heard, it will stop generating power in 2025, but decisions about what's going to happen to all of that land, it's nearly 12,000 acres, those decisions are being made right now, and it's an important time for our community to stand up and have our voices heard. In our economic vision, Imagine Slow, the Chamber prioritizes the best long-term community and economic use of the facilities and the lands when the plant closes. And that can only be made possible based on a decision that the California Public Utilities Commission will be making in early August. So at those meetings, we will be advocating for a full $4.8 billion, billion with a B, needed to safely and responsibly decommission the plant. It is a lot of money. I can't even conceptualize really what that means, but I think some of the things that you might be thinking are, why do we need to fight for this money now? Wasn't this always understood what the plan was? And that's true. We've, as PG&E customers, each of us have been paying on our monthly bills into a fund that's been intended to decommission the plant, and that fund is currently at $3.2 billion. The gap comes because none of us expected the plant to close early. So the amount to decommission hasn't changed, but the timeline to do so has. And so when we look at other communities that have plants like San Onofre and Humboldt Bay that just basically closed their doors and the lands weren't used or sort of starting to be rehabilitated to be used immediately following the closure, the opportunities for community use and for economic development, those doors closed as well. And so there are so many opportunities inherent in this space, but none of them will be possible if we don't have this money. The analogy I like to use is we're at a point where we need to be keeping all of the doors to possibility open, and based on the CPUC's decision in early August, they're meeting at the County Government Center. We need to stand up and have our voices heard to say, we want these opportunities to be available to all of us. So decommissioning activities, if that's sort of a word that you hear thrown around a lot, but you're not really sure what it means, it's basically making the site usable for something else. It means that we could have public, a state or national park, we could have open lands, we could use the desalination facility that's there for water for our communities. Some of the buildings there could be used for, warehouses, different types of energy generation. The possibilities are truly endless. And with all of those possibilities, there is some risk as well. And so in addition to advocating for this $4.8 billion to be fully funded, we'll also be working with partner organizations such as the Hourglass Project and our elected representatives to advocate for a local, independent, and authoritative entity to be created that can be focused on that reuse. They can consider all of these possibilities and also take on the risk that comes with sort of taking ownership or taking responsibility for a site like Diablo Canyon. There are similar situations that we can learn from, whether it's base closures in other states or even in California or other nuclear sites that are being decommissioned. There are so many entities out there, and we don't even have to just copy what's there, but we can learn. We can learn what has worked really well, we can learn what has worked incredibly poorly, and create something that is uniquely suited to serve our community. So if you'd like to know more, I invite you to come up and talk to Jim or I. We can both talk about this for hours on end. And also invite you to join us at the August 7th and 8th hearings at the County Government Center. I know sometimes it can be intimidating to go to you hear CPUC, California Public Utilities Commission. It is very official, and it is a really big deal, but we will be there. And so if you're interested in coming and having your voice heard, please know that you won't be doing it alone, and we would love to have you with us. Thank you.